Hello everyone, welcome to Weapon Technologies. Today we are going to discuss about inline HTML helpers in MVC. So let's start. So what is the objective of today's video is that we will be learning about what are the HTML helpers, how to use HTML helpers on Vue, and what are the few examples related to HTML helpers, and what are the different types of HTML helpers available in MVC, right? And before we start, let me just give you a brief introduction that HTML helpers are basically C# method which is used to return HTML, right? And with the help of HTML helpers, we can render text box, image, or any area or any other control. And we do also have some built-in HTML helpers in MVC, and we can also create our own custom HTML helpers, right? And HTML helpers are basically used on the view, and that can only be used on a single view, right? Let's suppose on a view we have created one HTML helpers, or we can say one inline HTML helpers, and that helper can only be used on that particular view only, on that particular view, not on the other view we can use, right? And these are the different types of HTML helpers in MVC which is available. First one is inline HTML helpers, second one is built-in HTML helpers, and this built-in HTML helpers is also categorized into three parts. First one is standard HTML helpers, then strongly typed helpers, and the last one is templated HTML helpers. And the third one, we do have custom HTML helpers. We can also create our own custom HTML helpers according to our need in the project, right? So in this video, we are going to discuss about the first one, inline HTML helpers. So let's start without wasting any time. So let's go to the Visual Studio and let's create our new project. Let's take this and I'm naming it inline HTML helpers, right? And click on OK button. I'm going to choose the empty one and I'm selecting this checkbox. The same step I'm repeating which we did in the earlier videos. So let's create our MVC project to learn inline HTML helper in this video. So let's wait for a couple of seconds. Yeah, so this is our project that has been generated by the Visual Studio for the MVC, right? And without wasting any time, let's create our controller. So I'm going to add a controller and I'm naming it home. So we have added one controller to our MVC application. And after this, we are going to add uh, in this controller, we have the section method. And for this index section method, we are going to add a view. So add view and I'm unchecking this checkbox and I'm creating a view name with the index. So a view will also be created for this controller and I'm going to delete this, right? Yeah. So till now we did the same thing. We have created one controller and under this controller for this action method we have created the view, right? This view, index view. Now let's create our inline HTML helpers. So for creating inline HTML helpers, we need to write at the rate and then your helper. You can say we need to write helper because we are going to create inline HTML helper and then the helper name. So let's give it a name, meaningful name, get data from list, right? And this method we have generated and this is the method block as we used to generate in the normal C# method, right? And in this we can provide parameters. Let's suppose one string array we are going to pass, and we can declare multiple parameters according to our need, right? And let's start our this method. So we have created this helper with the name get data from list, and under this body let's create another list tag, and inside that let's let's generate for each loop stuff. I am pressing tab two times to generate the for this loop snippet, right? And I'm taking item in this collection, that is st string array, and I'm going to pick under the list. We are going to fetch item from this string array, and so this inline HTML helpers is created with the name this get data from list, and this method we are going to call anywhere on this view. So let's create one more div block, right? And under this table let's take a label to display meaningful message. For example, let's take example one. We are going to display name, right? And name list, and let's take one more div under this div, and let's call this get data from list helper here, right? So for calling we need to write we need to call then your method name at the rate, then your inline HTML method name, right? Right, and under this we are going to pass, let's suppose, a string array because it is expecting a string array, right? And let's suppose we give some names in the list, Vipin, Deepti. Let's give it one more, some few more. Let's give some more names like and one more we can define. Let's suppose, right? Let's save this file, and now let's run and see the output. So first of all, it will build the application. Build is succeeded. Now it is going to render in the browser. It's going to call home controller and the index section method, as we can see in the browser. So let's wait what it's going to display. It will display all the names. Yeah, we can see name list. Oh, it's showing the item. So somewhere we are missing something. Yeah, for displaying item, we need to write at the rate symbol. We forgot to mention this. Now let's run it again. I'm just reloading the page. Now it will display all the name list. So let's wait. Yeah, we can see all the names has been displayed on the browser, right? So what we have done till now, we created this inline HTML helper, similar like a method, and this helper we are calling over here on this view, on the same view, right? Now let's create one more div, and we are calling the same helper over here. We are naming this time, let's suppose IT courses, right? And we are writing over here like Java, .NET, Azure, and cloud, right? Cloud computing. I'm calling the same. I'm calling the same get data from list this helper, right? So let's save this file and reload the page. Now this time it will render both of the list, example one and example two also. So let's see. Yeah, we can see example one, the name list, and the example two, it is displaying about IT course, right? So this was all about the basic introduction about inline HTML helpers. So yeah, let me tell you one more thing. Let's do some more manipulations. Let make this helper more beautiful. So let's suppose we are applying one if condition, right? And let's suppose this if this string array is empty, right? Empty, not exactly empty. We are going to compare with the length. So let's give it if str dot length exactly equal to 0, then we are going to display a message that no record exists, right? And in the else part, we are going to display our this stuff which we have written on order list, this tag, right? So I'm just cutting it and going to paste in the else section, right? To make it more meaningful, right? So, so we have handled, and now let's create one more div. This was the first div, second div. Let's copy it and create one more div. And in this, we are going to pass empty one, right? And let's suppose we are going to empty list. We are calling the same helper get data from list, which we have created on the top in this view. And this time we are passing empty. So we are deleting all this, and now this time we are passing empty. So for this example 3, it will display no record exists, right? So let's save this file, and well, let's save this file and run in the browser. So let's wait. Application has been built successfully. Now it is going to render in the browser. So let's see. Yes, so we can see example 3 empty list. For this it is displaying no record exists because we have applied the condition. If this string array is empty, then we have to display no record exist. Else, if it is not empty, it's going to display all the item in a given string array in the list, right? So for example, for first list, it is displaying all the names. For second, it is displaying all the courses. And for the third one, it is displaying no record exist, right? So that was all about the basic introduction about the inline HTML helpers. And in the next video, we will be discussing about in a more detail about HTML helpers and the standard HTML helpers, right? So just stay tuned to my channel and please subscribe my channel so that you can get the latest notification of my video. And if you have any queries or doubts, so please post in the comment section. I will definitely reply to you. So that is all for this topic. So thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Yeah, one more thing before binding up this session. I would like to tell you about this inline HTML helpers that that this helper can only be used on this view only, on this index view only, right? It cannot be used on the another view. Let's suppose we have created one more view and we want to use this inline HTML helpers on that second view, right? So this is not possible. Inline HTML helpers can only be used on the single view only. So that is the main drawback of inline HTML helpers. If we have a such requirement that we want to use on a multiple views, in that case we basically use the concept of partial views. So that we will be discussing in the upcoming videos, so don't worry about that, right? So that is all about inline HTML helpers. So thank you, take care, bye bye.